So guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have another cat cam today. Harping back to a couple videos ago, we had cat cam. Today we have another cat here on the cam. Say hello, Moby. Awesome stuff. So today we're going to answer the question, do you actually need to be good at math in computer science? And what actual math is used in computer science jobs every day? So we're going to answer those two questions for both software engineering and data science, so let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to talk about how math is actually used in software engineering. First, we're going to go over the actual math classes I took in my computer science degree, how they relate to my current job as a software developer, and then we're also going to look at other kinds of software engineering and see if any of the math classes I took would apply to those as well. We'll also make sure to see if any job postings include these math keywords as well. So let's just dive right into it. Now let's go over which math classes I took during college and which ones were actually useful. So during my computer science degree, I took a lot of different classes, a lot of different math classes, a lot of different computer science classes, just some random electives as well. And I have downloaded all of them into a big Excel spreadsheet, but I've trimmed all of my classes to just show the math classes which I found most useful. So looking at this here, these are the math classes I think are most useful to me or to someone else in a different software engineering field. Now let's just get right into it with the last one on the list here, formal foundations. This class was all about Boolean logic. I never really dealt with ifs, like and statements or statements or negation statements or anything that goes into creating these kind of Boolean expressions. This was super helpful to me, and I actually do use some concepts from this class in my day-to-day. So although maybe it wasn't strictly necessary for me to take a whole course about it, I did actually really enjoy it. So I definitely would say that's a better one. Linear algebra, I personally don't use linear algebra in my software engineering job, but I do think other kinds of software engineering, such as computer graphics or more of a math-oriented software engineer, software developer, would use linear algebra a lot because it's a very useful skill to have, and I'm very happy I took it. This next one here is graphs and networks. Kind of a similar story to linear algebra. I don't use graphs and networks a lot in my software engineering job, so I think it would be useful for other kinds of software engineers though, and we'll get into those kinds of software engineering later in the video. Introduction to AI. This was a very interesting class. I didn't really know anything about AI before taking it. I don't use it because I'm not really an AI guy, but I think it's really important to kind of know more about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know I didn't like it, right? So anyway, let's moving on from that. We have information theory. Information theory was a lot of stats and probability, and then we had information theory towards the end. I really didn't kind of click with this class. I found it really difficult. You know, I don't really do a whole lot of statistics or probabilities in my software engineering job. I do know that other software engineers do use these concepts quite a lot. So moving on here, we have computer graphics. Obviously, this class is really, really useful if you're gonna be doing computer graphics, and I am happy that I took it, so I know this is maybe a field that I didn't want to go into, but I do think computer graphics was a very helpful class, and if you're going into computer graphics, I think you should probably take the computer graphics class in college. The next one here is data mining. This one was a lot of math and almost kind of like a pseudo data science class. We went over how to analyze data, how to plot data, how to show data, how to find relationships in data. This one I personally don't use right now in my career, but I definitely see myself using some of these concepts in either side projects or in some kind of other role as I get more experience for my career. So I actually think this class was very useful, and I'm very happy I took it. This was not really so theoretical, it was more practical as well, which maybe is why I liked it a little bit more than the others. So then the last class here we have is deep learning. Deep learning was, we went over a lot of AI stuff again, and this was more of a project-oriented class, so I really liked it. But anyway, deep learning, I don't use this in my software engineering job, but I know that obviously if you're doing data science, which we'll talk about coming up in the video, definitely is going to use deep learning and some of these other classes for sure during their daily work. So this is all of the classes that I took during my computer science degree. Now let's see if any jobs in, looking on LinkedIn or looking on Glassdoor actually use these in their keyword. Now let's take a look if any of the classes I mentioned just a few seconds ago here, if any of these classes actually show up in real software engineering jobs. So if you want to repeat my testing methodology here, I've just gone on Glassdoor.com Glassdoor.com is a big kind of job search website for software engineering, or just really any job. I mean, it has lots of job postings. I just searched software engineer, and for the location, I just picked a random big city, so I picked New York. Hopefully we get lots of job postings here we can take a look at, so let's just dive right into it here. So here we have somewhere in New Jersey, and I'm looking to see if any of those things show up. I don't think they will, guys. That's my kind of, especially for general software jobs, I don't think they will show up, but let's see, prove myself wrong here. So here we go. We're looking at any responsibilities or preferred qualifications. So let's go take a look at that here. So test-driven developments, a clear, okay, this makes sense here. Okay, AWS services, but okay. So we've seen one so far, nothing. Okay, let's take a look at this this one here, senior software engineer C++. Okay, let's see here, qualifications, a strong understanding of C++, yeah, that makes sense. A CPU architecture, okay, testing frameworks, common tools, okay, a knowledge of trading systems or trading futures. So this is something that I was going to mention later in the video, but since it pops up here, one of the few kind of smaller areas in which math is used in computer science, general software engineering a lot is in kind of these big financial institutions where you're on a team which is making transactions with exchanges. So like the stock market, or you're making trades a lot, kind of like a Robinhood kind of deal. Their math is super, super useful. And if you want to go into that kind of role, there's kind of whole special software engineers who bridge that finance and math knowledge with coding. So those are called quantitative developers. This isn't a specific role for that, but that's a niche software engineering role which actually would benefit from using these kind of classes here. But let's continue on here. So software development engineer, what do we want here? Job description, required skills, a computer science degree, experience in an object-oriented programming language. Okay, so nothing here. Let's look at one more because I don't want to drag this out. This is more just to confirm the fact that I thought that you didn't have to, because I don't in my daily job. So it looks like for the most part I'm right here, but let's just pick a random one here. So let's go look at a full stack software engineer here at Impact. What will you be doing? Benefits and perks. Okay. But it says here that we'll be building in React, PHP backend, integrate third-party APIs, doing a full software engineering lifecycle. Okay, we'll do one more, guys, and we'll see if we can do one more. So here we have, sure, we'll do full stack engineer of products. Okay, so here we have requirements, 3+ years, experience with a framework, experience with some front end, SQL, and that's about it. So obviously for general software engineers, we looked at 3 postings to that right now. We couldn't really find a whole lot. The only thing we did find was a C++ role working at kind of some big financial institution where they're trading stock futures. So let's take a look. Maybe we can go into one of these niche fields. I was thinking computer graphics. Let's look at graphics pro or programmer. Sure. Let's take a look at that. So graphics programmer. Okay. Engine programmer. So here we go. Let's try this. Here we go. So here we have what is actually needed for working at kind of this game engine programmer. So this is definitely a field which I said earlier, which would really help by taking the computer graphics class, but the computer graphics class relies on a lot of these other math foundational skills. So here we have a job posting here done by Rockstar Games. I'm pretty sure they make GTA, so they're a big company. This is what they're looking for an engine programmer. So this is probably someone who works on their game engine, and the game engine powers the visuals of the games that they make. So here we have self-motivated, understanding of memory layouts. Okay, so very low level stuff that makes sense for this role. Strong 3D math skills, so that makes a lot of sense. And then here they're talking about understanding of code performance. Obviously for a game engine, code performance is a little bit more important than say like a React job or a front-end programming job or whatever. So I just wanted to point out here that there are software engineering fields which do benefit from taking more of the math classes, which I found useful in college, but I think they're the exception rather than the rule. So let's just dive into maybe another kind of field in computer science, which is growing really popular right now, which I think will always benefit from taking some of these more math classes, which I found useful. So unlike software engineering, data science actually actually requires you to know a lot of math to do well in this field. To go over this, we're first going to go over what math do data science like degrees or courses actually teach you, and do actual jobs require this math that they're teaching you in school? Let's take a look at a data science degree. What does a data science degree look like? Well, from my research, it looks like a data science degree is mostly a master's degree, so it will be a bit different than the computer science undergrad, which I showed you earlier in the video. So let's take a look at this here. I picked the University of Washington here to go over their data science master's program for no other reason apart from the fact that I couldn't find another big university which went over their curriculum plan on the website for us to look at. So I thought their plan was pretty detailed, and so I think we could have some stuff to talk about here today. So let's look at it here. The full-time plan, I assume that's like a full-time degree. It looks like it's only going to be 2 years here. So year one, what do we do in year one here? So let's see, we do a class on visualization, a class on data management, a class on software design. We also do a class on more statistics, and more statistics. So I'm definitely getting a theme here, guys, about statistics and visualization and data management. Makes total sense for a data science role, right? Then here we have topics in data science. I'm assuming that's more of an introduction to what data science is and where you can go about it. Totally makes sense. Year two here, we have human-centered data science, a capstone project. I'm sure that's more, you can build out some kind of final project. So kind of put on your resume, show your employers, put some of the things you learned from your first year into practice. Scalable data systems and algorithms, totally makes sense. Learning about how to efficiently crunch all this data. And then a capstone project planning, that makes sense because the next semester here we're doing capstone project. So this looks like here the general takeaways from a data science master's program is definitely a heavy emphasis on mathematics and statistics and visualizing that statistics. So definitely those three concepts there I would say are very important. Now let's just take a look and see if any of these classes here show up in a job posting for data science. Now it's time to look at to see if any of the classes we found in the master's data science program are actually showing up in data science job postings. So exactly like the computer science job postings, we're just going to look straight into it and see if any of these job postings. I've done the exact same thing here on Glassdoor. Data scientist up here in the search bar, New York because it's just a big city. And now let's see what the job descriptions say. So I found one here for Plymouth, some kind of in assurance company. I'm not really sure what that is. So here, supports the development of statistical models. Okay, so definitely we're getting a strong emphasis on stats here. Data mining and data cleaning, preparing data sets for validation, producing models, communicate. Okay, so those are the essential functions. Let's see what the qualifications are here. So they want here, so here we go. So they want definitely a strong background here in multivariate analysis, some Bayesian methods, linear models, nonlinear models, decision trees. So a lot of heavy math and statistics background here immediately. And they want solid skills in this. So clearly this is a pretty big part of the job posting here. Okay, so that sounds pretty good for this posting. Let's see if we can look up a couple more here. Here, Bloomberg Data Science and Solution Architect. Let's see, we need, okay, confidently make recommendations based on statistical methodologies to customers and partners. So here again, it's emphasizing here that we need to understand statistics and explain that to people. Very important part of the job here. So this is as we see here, this is kind of more of a finance institution, Bloomberg obviously. So here they want some experience deploying stuff in kind of that kind of situation, but I don't think that would be very kind of essential for like a new data scientist, obviously. I just searched as data scientist here to get as many hits as we can. So in these two here, let's just look at one more. So here, data scientist, let's take a look here. Okay, perfect here. So here we want qualification, bachelor's degree in statistics and mathematics. So clearly they want a strong math background here. They want experience with modeling. They want experience with SAS or Python, which obviously used a lot in data science. They want experience in analytics, data cleaning, and predictive modeling. So we've seen 3 postings of data science. We saw 3 postings of software engineer. It definitely seems like to me that all of the classes, all of the math classes for a data science master's program are very, very important to a data science job. And this actually I've spoken to many data scientists who I work with at my software engineering job, and they tell me how important understanding mathematics is and how it's absolutely essential to becoming a successful data scientist. So it seems like the actual math classes you're learning in college for a data scientist are super essential for jobs and for your career as a data scientist, which may not necessarily be the case for software engineering, as we saw earlier in the video. So I think this video answered the question, do you need to be good at math for computer science? And I think the answer is a resounding, it depends! So if you want to go into a traditional software engineering or software developer role, you aren't going to use math all that much unless you're in one of these niche or small fields such as computer graphics or some trader kind of software engineer, then you will need to know math. But for the vast majority of cases, you won't need to, unless you're doing a data science role. So if you want to become a data scientist, clearly, as we've seen from the video earlier in the video, knowing math is essential to doing well in that field. So saying that, guys, I really hope you liked this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, comment down below if you are currently going through a computer science or data science curriculum. Let me know which math classes you're taking and if you're finding them useful or not. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.